Through you, Chair. So, Mr. Kawall, first of all, thank you for your presentation. Understanding that you had to sort of go through it quite quickly, I wanted to draw attention to slide number 10, and I'm wondering if you can please elaborate on or give the committee a better sense of what kinds of regional issues the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee could advise on.
Right. Thank you for the question, Councillor. Through you, Chair. When thinking about the issues that could be addressed, I think it's really important to start with the mandate of the committee. So I'm going to just reread that for you. The mandate says the DEIAC shall provide recommendations, advice, and information to regional council and regional staff on matters pertaining to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This includes matters relating to anti-racism, the 2S LGBTQIA plus community, and other intersections of diversity within Niagara. So with that as the backdrop, some of the suggested ideas would be, for example, an anti-racism town hall. When I look around the committee table today, I find it hard to imagine that many of you have experienced or even witnessed racism. And as the old adage goes, out of sight is out of mind. Well, racism does exist in Niagara. That was clearly identified in the region's Community DEI Experiences Report of February 2022. Efforts to address this have really been fragmented, not coordinated, and we've not had a frank community conversation on the acknowledgement and understanding that racism exists. Other municipalities have held very successful town halls for residents to ask questions, listen in, share stories and ideas on how to address systemic racism in their communities. I believe we need to do something like this in Niagara, and the DEIAC could provide advice and information on what that might look like. A second area is the 2S LGBTQIA plus issues. I'm not part of those communities and cannot speak about specific issues, but I'm sure some of my committee colleagues can. However, the region's own Community DEI Experiences Report highlights that these communities don't feel safe or included, and in fact were threats of discrimination. An anti-harassment bylaw. This was implemented in the region of Waterloo. It says the harassment provision is one more step the region of Waterloo is taking to create safe and inclusive spaces for all. This bylaw aims to ensure everyone has access to services by protecting all, including marginalized communities, from hate and harassment on regional property. This really sounds like something that would apply to Niagara as well. The procedural bylaw, the deadline to address a committee for an item that's not on the agenda is 14 days ahead of the meeting. Why such a lengthy timeline? Citizens have really busy lives, and this type of policy inhibits them from participating. Other municipalities have been more accommodating. I'm sure we can learn from their experiences. An anti-hate sign bylaw implemented in Hamilton. It says that signs or decoration which include but are not limited to expressions of hate and symbols associated with hate be banned from public property within the city of Hamilton, in recognition of the adverse power that such symbols can have on the psychology and well-being of community members. I can see something similar to that being done in Niagara. At the January 25th Regional Council meeting, 18 citizens followed the process to make delegations to council, were denied the opportunity. I understand the Integrity Commissioners indicated all policy and procedures were appropriately followed. This should tell us something. If proper policy and procedures were followed and the outcome was 18 citizens were denied the opportunity to address council, then something's wrong. Policies are designed to drive specific outcomes, and surely that wasn't the desired outcome. Maybe these policies could be examined through a DEI lens, or in fact, maybe all regional policies could be examined through a DEI lens. The last one is the Anti-Racism Center. This was a collaboration between the City of Hamilton, McMaster University, and Hamilton Center for Civic Inclusion, launched in April 2018. This center is committed to advancing education about race, racism, discrimination, racial equality, and anti-racist theory and practice in Hamilton. Certainly sounds like Niagara could benefit from something similar. This list of regional DEI issues were ones that were on top of mind for me. However, I'm sure that if you talk to the other DEI committee members, they would have additional suggestions based on other intersections of diversity. And these are the same issues that staff would like you to believe are outside of the mandate and jurisdiction of the region. It's a challenge to me to understand how the region sets up the equitable region strategic priority that speaks specifically to providing opportunities for a safe and inclusive Niagara, and then wouldn't be interested in receiving information and advice on topics like this. I fully understand that these may make you feel uncomfortable or may appear too complex. With increased awareness and understanding, that feeling of discomfort will dissipate. What's not okay is ignoring them or choosing not to do nothing. They won't go away. In fact, they'll continue to fester and get worse. Councillor, I hope that gives you a better sense of some of the regional DEI issues that I believe that the committee could provide information and recommendations to advice on. Thank you.
Thank you. It does, Mr. Kawall. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Yeah, Councillor Bateman. Thank you. Through you, Chair, to Mr. Kawall. I hope that I've been an advocate for more intersectional lens on anything that comes through the region, but I certainly don't know everything. I make mistakes all the time. I'm really hopeful that what you ask is approved, but with your suggested changes, would we be able to include a more intersectional lens on kind of everything we do at the region? Through you, Chair. Pardon me.
Through you, Chair, to the councillor. I believe absolutely yes. Okay. And so what the premise behind all of this is that the DEI Advisory Committee members are members of the community, out in the community, experiencing and seeing all these DEI issues that we don't believe that you're seeing here around this table today. Okay. And when they see those and they bring it through the process as described by our chair, okay, we can then determine whether or not that makes sense to bring it to the full committee. So in that process, I am absolutely certain that different colleagues of mine will be bringing those types of intersectional issues that, frankly, many of us can't see today because they're in small hidden pockets. So I think the answer is absolutely yes.